Get your rally caps on. Get your rally caps on. You in the back, get your rally cap on. Excuse me, sir. Please tell your partner next to you. Tell him to get his rally cap on. It is time for another video from the amazing Corey Gamba. Financial freedom. Working through to find that financial freedom. This has been a progressive year. I've done a lot of progressing, if that's the right word. At this location, we are trying to stay on top of, here's the important stuff that I'm trying to personally work on, and therefore you should be working on, right? And that is keeping notes on all my locations in my stored Google Map files, right? Keep in mind, I use Google Maps, I save all my locations, I keep my notes there, and I haven't been the best about it. So my goal this year and in general is to just get better at the notes. All you have to do, it's easy. You go to the location, you do the work, you restock the machine, you clean it down, you collect, and then you make the note. If you don't make the note right away after you go to the location, that is when you forget to put the note. And then when you look back on the notes, you're thinking, hell, was I not there till January? Could that be right? Scratching your head, wondering what is going on, you're right? Oh, I feel like I was there sooner than that. But you don't know. And that's not going to make for good business, because then you're not going to be able to keep any sort of accountability and know how often you need to come here. And if a location is, I mean, in this instance, it's only 8 minutes away, but still, if it's farther away, do you really want to spend the time going to check on that machine when really it doesn't need to be checked on? And also, how are you going to figure out how much checking up it needs to do? Not every location is the same. You can't just put candy in a machine at a location and say, okay, I'll be back in 2 months, all across the board, right? Because some are more popular than others. Also, the machine that you're using, the candy you're using, the temperature, the atmosphere, right? The foot traffic, everything gets factored in. I got to tell you, whatever we made today, there is a sunken loss that we need to hold ourselves accountable to, and I'm going to show you that right now. These M&Ms don't look that bad, but when you open up the shell, the outer shell part, you can see, might be hard to see in the video, you can see that it's now like a gray chocolate texture when really it should be a black chocolate texture, right? And so I don't think these are good anymore. I really don't want to be keeping them in there. I don't think that's fair, but we need to consider this. Now, I want to say this is a Skittles pack, 54 ounce. So in a traditional peanut M&M container, this would be less than what it's filling up to here. They're a bigger case than this. So we can't say it's a third full when the casing is so much bigger, right? This is a 62 ounce. That's an extra 8 ounces. It makes a difference. So if the peanut M&Ms were in here, we would be saying that maybe it's a fourth full, right? I would say a fourth full is how many M&Ms is probably going to go to the trash can, right? Because where are we going to put this? I mean, this is the location where the C grade candy goes. And I like to do good work, so even at my lower locations, I still don't want to do, if they're not buying it and the candy's no good, what the hell is the point, right? So I have to take the loss. I'm choosing to. It's close, but I think it warrants it. So if I'm taking a fourth loss on peanut M&Ms, at the time when I probably purchased these M&Ms, they were $15. So we can say I'm losing 1/4 of $15, and I want to say that comes out to about $4, $8, $12, $16, give or take, right around $3.50, $4 worth of candy loss. Okay, now on top of that, Skittles that were in there, although probably still edible, they do have a faded color to it. They look super unappetizing. They're definitely, you know, either sun damage or dried out. They're at the end of their life. And I still, I mean, at first glance, I'm like, they have to go, right? Even more so than the peanut M&Ms. And so now, ironically, this is in the larger one, so we have to reverse it now. Putting these Skittles, and we switch it into the smaller container. I would say we're losing probably about a fourth, probably not a third, probably a fourth of Skittles. And so, how much are Skittles? I would say roughly, give or take, around $10 to $11. And so if we're losing out on a fourth, we can consider that to be about $2.50 or $3. Now, if we combine this right now, fourth container of the peanut M&Ms, we said around $3.54, and then for the Skittles, we're talking about somewhere around $2.53. So I would say $3.50 plus $2.50. That's $6 worth of candy that we've just lost out on, right? So we need to see how much money this location made, and then we got to take $6 off the top. Pros and cons: this is a slow location. It's hard to even justify having a candy machine here. That candy machine is a used candy machine that needs to go regardless. And if I do want to keep this location, then a upgraded candy machine needs to go in here. And then I just need and then at least the chances of me throwing away candy is going to reduce down, hopefully not to zero, but if I get it down correctly, yes, as close to zero as possible is the goal. We don't want to be throwing away candy. At home, I have 10 packs of old candy that I don't want to get rid of because I still want to think there's life that could be used, and somewhere I could put that candy. And in all reality, I have to consider it a loss. Probably do a video after I just threw away a container of M&Ms. I just threw away gumballs. I just threw away Skittles, you know? And you have to factor all of that into what you're making and what you're paying for, right? And so, circling back, that is one of the main reasons why I am going around upgrading all my candy machines, is because I want to do it right. And just because I set them up with all these used candy machines, trying to save $1, buying the wrong candy machines even new, I was like, dude, just because I did it wrong doesn't mean I failed at this side hustle. I didn't do it right. But I got to learn from it. I got to correct it, and I got to try it the right way to give it a real try, you know. And I can't stress out this, example, right? It's just so it's so important to this job. So, heed my warning, learn from my mistakes, and realize, dude, I would rather see the machine empty than with dead candy, right? Because then, and like I said in some other videos, there's a strategy to where don't be afraid. If they have 3 or 4 slots worth of candy and you're worried that one of them sells out, that's a good thing, because then it pushes the narrative onto the other 2 or 3 candies that they're gonna be forced to purchase, or not have any candy at all, right? And they would probably rather snack on a second favorite candy than not to snack at all. So if they run out of peanut M&Ms, good. Now they'll buy the peanut butter M&Ms. Now they'll buy the Skittles, right? So anyways, I'm gonna The peanut butter M&Ms look low and they look okay. I'll just keep those as is for now. Like I said, I need to sell this candy machine anyways, and I need to upgrade it. I'm going to finish restocking. Plus, the headache of having to scoop all this out with my hands, man, I'm done with that. I'm going to finish restocking this. And then we're going to do the collection and maybe a recap. Coming right back. You can tell there's not much foot traffic, not that many employees. Here's the candy machine. It's actually not a bad machine, you know. The nice thing is about these machines, when you put a quarter in and you turn it, it doesn't make a loud cranking noise like the ones I use, which is kind of annoying. I freshened up the peanut M&Ms, kept the peanut butter M&Ms, and freshened up the Skittles. I also adjusted the wheel so it's dispensing more peanut M&Ms. I think before it was only giving out like 3, which is not really fair. So now it's giving out more of that 5 to 6 range. You know, it's like you want to keep some candy in there so you can get some sales, but you don't want to overdo it. That's dispensing about 12 pieces, 13 pieces, because you don't want the candy to go bad. I am doing some rotations later this week. So I might rotate this one out after I rotate some of the new ones. So hopefully I'll have a better quality candy machine here. This is where you're opening up to. Now obviously these numbers can be better if the candy retains its freshness. Also, the type of candy I decide to put in here. You know, what if Starburst were in here? What if specialty gumballs were in here? How much are each of the candies selling? Right? So everything's dispensing correctly. Peanut butter M&Ms, like I said, still look okay enough to keep in there, and they're on like a very low level. So fresh M&Ms dispensing correctly, giving out more. Skittles dispensing more, or excuse me, correctly. All right, let's see if I can just put this on the weight machine. $17 in sales. Now, remember, keep in mind, we lost about $6 in candy, so really it's like $11 minus what it cost for the candy that didn't expire. And inaccurate dates, we don't know how long this took, but like I said, could the numbers be better if the candy was fresher, if the machine looked more appetizing, if I had a different choice of candy, right? So we have to determine all this stuff to really decide, you know, if it's worth keeping around. You know, the locks work good. You know, relatively cleans up nicely, right? Looks much better than before. Labels look good. But yeah, you know, like I said, we got some work to do to see if it's worth it or not. Anyways, moving on to the next. Spent too much time here as it is.